Hello everyone. Can you hear me?
Hello, ma'am. We can hear you, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So I guess we'll start with the webinar now.
Sure,
I'll
ma'am.
start with introducing Divya ma'am. So welcome Divya ma'am. We are really glad you are with us today,
Thank you so much, ma'am.
and I'll just introduce her. I'll tell her about her background and everything. So she is pursuing her PhD in forensic psychology from MIT University, Lucknow, and she has also done 1 year of postgraduate diploma in forensic psychology from Gujarat Forensic Science University, Gandhinagar. She has worked there. She has worked with number of tools used in forensic psychology for detecting deception as polygraph, brain signature profiling, suspect detection
Detection.
system, and she's also a licensure in one of the tools used in forensic psychology called layered voice analysis (LVA 6.50). She has also worked as a project assistant in one of the DST projects in the Department of Cognitive and Brain Science at the Indian Institute of Technology, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. And she has worked as an intern in Sabarmati Jail, Gujarat, and Tihar Jail, New Delhi, providing psychological first aid to prisoners. So now I'll hand it over to Divya ma'am. She can start with the webinar.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am.
No problem, ma'am.
Yeah, hope I'm here, audible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and it's a
Yes,
request.
yes.
Yeah, it's a request. Please put your mic on this mute mode and your video on mute mode so that the session can go smooth. And so please try to put your mic and videos on. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Okay, good morning to all of you. And this is me, Divya Dubey. I'm a forensic psychologist and I'm also pursuing my PhD in forensic psychology from Amity University, Lucknow campus. And my core area of interest is deviant behavior among adolescents, and I'm also providing you on my email ID so that if you have any query, any question regarding the subject, regarding the session, please do feel free to contact, and I'll mail back to you, reply to you as early as possible, right? So now let's start. The agenda, what we are going to discuss today is what is forensic psychology, the role of forensic psychologist in criminal justice system, the career prospects forensic psychologists have in India and as well as in abroad, and the universities offering courses in India, right? Now let's start with the basic definition of forensic psychology. It is the application of psychology to the criminal and civil justice system. Or you can say it is the application of psychological expertise within the judicial system, right? So forensic psychology emerged as a separate area in 2001 after American Psychological Association recognized the importance of forensic psychology. They basically approved and give the separate area, forensic psychology as a separate area, as a branch of psychology in 2001, right? So forensic psychology, it is basically an applied field of psychology which measures the behavior or understands the behavior behind the crime or offense and helps in minimize and prevent those behaviors, right? And in forensic psychology, we also take the help of various disciplines of psychology. For example, clinical psychology, abnormal psychology, neuropsychology, criminal psychology, legal, developmental, and social psychology, right? If we want to assess the person mental state at the time of the offense or at the time of the trial, so we basically take the help of clinical psychologists, as we are not RCI registered. So we basically take the help of clinical psychology to assess the mental state of the person, right? So basically forensic psychology, it involves the understanding of the criminal law, why it requires understanding of the criminal law, so that you can able to interact appropriately with judges, attorneys, and other legal professionals. Right. Forensic psychologists, they also give sentencing recommendations, treatment recommendations, and any other information the judge requests, such as information concerning mitigating factors, assessment of future risk, and evaluation of witness credibility. What is this sentencing recommendations? So forensic psychology, basically it helps the court in deciding the sentence for the particular offense, right? Whether it should be rehabilitated, whether it should be punished, how much sentencing should be provided to the person involved in the crime, and the treatment recommendation. For example, psychological health and sanity of the criminal defendant, in order to decide whether or not they are mentally competent to stand the trial, right? And any other information the judge requests, such as information concerning mitigating factor. What is this mitigating factors? So mitigating factors are those factors that lessen or reduce its moral and legal consequences. For example, the age, history that lessens the severity of the criminal act. For example, mental retardation, alcohol that contributed to the criminal behavior, and past good deeds, etc. Right? So we help the court in deciding all these things, whether it is sentencing recommendations, whether it is treatment recommendations, and help the court in deciding the mitigating factors also, and assessment of future risk, right? How much risk is involved with the particular offense and the with particular offender, right? We have certain tools and techniques for that, and evaluation of witness credibility, right? So now the role of forensic psychology, or you can say the role of forensic psychologist in criminal justice system. The first is insanity assessment, right? What is insanity assessment? It is the mental state at the time of offense, right? That determines whether a person is capable of being held responsible for his or her criminal actions. Example, defendant's mental state at the time of crime was committed. A forensic psychologist provides a professional opinion regarding an insanity defense if court finds the person was clinically ill at the time of the offense. Then, after assessment, of course, and then the court refers the person to the psychiatric hospital. Okay. So now comes the role of forensic psychologist in eyewitness testimony and falsification of memory. What is this eyewitness testimony? It is basically a legal term, and it refers to an account given by people of an event they have witnessed. For example, identification of perpetrator, detail of the crime scene, etc. And what is falsification of memory? How eyewitness testimony get affected by the falsification of memory. People are likely to view the crime scene in different ways depending on their positions. For example, line of sight, familiarity with the area, and other factors that can interfere with a person's ability to remember details, right? For example, if a person was anxious, if he was focused more on the weapon rather than the perpetrator, right? So falsification of memory also happen because of number of factors. For example, age. The younger student, yeah, their younger child is, he witnessed the event in a very different way, and the older one witnessed the event in a very different way. The subjectivity may be different, right? And for example, race. People are better in recognizing face of their own race. And drugs. Drugs can alter a person's ability to recall the events of a crime. If it was a traumatic crime scene, it also affects a person's memory to recall events. For example, person is focused more on the weapon rather than the perpetrator's face, right? So now I will show you one mock crime picture, which I have taken from Google. And please observe that picture. I will show you how witness testimony and falsification of memory works basically. So pay attention to that picture for 1 minute, and after that I will ask you some questions out of it based on that. So yeah, so pay attention. Are you ready? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. Pay attention for 1 minute to this picture. Yeah. Now, my question is, what color coffee mug was in the picture? Was it blue, red, or yellow? And please answer your question in the comment section. I'll check. And my second question is, what time was on the clock on the wall? Was it 11:40, 11:05, 1:55? Okay. And my third question is, what color was the victim shirt? Was it black, blue, or red? Nice. Wow. Great. Okay. Yeah. So, yes. Most of you answered in a very clear manner and, in a very, most of you were right in your answers. So, yes, abhi to I have shown you a picture in a, intentional manner. Ki bhai, ye picture hai, you have to pay attention to this picture for a 1 minute or few seconds. And for example, imagine if a crime scene occurs in front of you, then what will happen? मतलब कैसे आप react करते हो? कभी भी कोई भी आप रोड पे जा रहे हो, you have encountered a crime, you have seen something, which disturbs you or which, कभी ऐसा होता है कि हाँ किसी ने पूछा, आप exactly remember नहीं कर पाते हो चीजों को, तो क्या होता है? Sometimes the thing interfere with your memory is anxiety and your past event, maybe something you have encountered the same thing in your past event also. So this is how sometimes eyewitness testimony gets affected by the falsification of memory. So we help the eyewitness in reducing the anxiety, in reducing the mental trauma the person is going through, because the witness, he faced the same trauma, he feels the same pain actually, and sometimes it's turned into a PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder also in a person. He may sometimes suffer from some kinds of phobias in his life for a long term. So it basically leave a bad impact on the mind of the witness. So we basically try to reduce that while interviewing witness or while working with the witness. So this is how eyewitness testimony and falsification of memory works. And the third one is competency to stand trial. Competency to stand trial, person, sometimes people get confused with these two, insanity assessment and competency to stand trial. Insanity assessment, it is a mental state at the time of the offense, right? And competency to stand trial, it is a mental state at the time of proceeding, while the trial is going on. Whether so we basically see whether the defendant has the mental ability to understand the legal proceeding against them, and do they able to assess their attorneys in their own defense. So according to law, criminal proceedings should not continue against the person who cannot understand the trial and its value. All right. Now, next one is evaluation of possible malingering. Forensic psychologists also help in, assessing the malingering person is, the person is faking basically. He's faking, sometimes he's faking good, sometimes he's faking bad to, to get motivated by the external incentives, right? So malingering is intentional production of false or exaggerated physical or psychological symptoms motivated by external incentives. An individual may try to fake as having a mental illness to avoid ongoing trial or to be found criminally insane, right? For example, forensic psychologists are likely to examine, encounter examinees who fake good, attempting to portray themselves in a positive light, right? There is one case from the civil area. The parent involved in a child custody evaluation, right, are reluctant to reveal even the minor details or minor faults about themselves, fearing that it may jeopardize their chances to gain custody of their children, right? So forensic psychologists use certain tests and techniques to assess that malingering, right? मतलब कहते हैं कि कितना भी offender चालाक हो, कितना भी वो malingering करने की कोशिश करे, but we have, एक आपके पास एक पर्टिकुलर आप एमएससी करते हो, आपके पास डिफरेंट टेस्ट होते हैं, यू हैव प्रोजेक्टिव टेस्ट, यू हैव फोरेंसिक असेसमेंट टेस्ट, सो मतलब मेलिंगरिंग टू सम एक्सटेंट ऑफेंडर कैन मैनिपुलेट you but not in every case, right? Now comes a victim counseling. A victim counseling, basically a victim experience severe or mild psychological trauma following their victimization, right? So psychological trauma may result in various various psychological disorders. Maybe it is post-traumatic stress disorder, maybe it is depression, it can be a specific phobia, it can be agoraphobia, it can be a generalized anxiety, it can be a dissociation, and it can be a psychosis, right? So the treatment of psychological trauma depends partially on the type of emotional problem the person is going through. Sometimes we use cognitive treatment, and sometimes we use relaxation skills, we use pain management skills, desensitization. Psychotherapy also works a lot. And even then, the most severe trauma, the most severe trauma leaves some permanent psychological marks on the mind of the victim, right? And the next one is detection of deception and truthfulness of the subject. This is one of the most important part as far as forensic psychologists are concerned. This is one of the most important part we play. That is detection of deception and truthfulness of the subject. Right. So forensic psychology play a very important role where detection of deception is concerned. They help the court in finding out the truth by using various instruments. For example, polygraph, it can also be called as a lie detection. Brain signature profiling, where we use experiential knowledge of the person related to the crime. We use layered voice analysis, where the voice is used to see whether the person is decepting or not. And we have suspect detection system also, narco analysis. So these are all the instruments we use basically to detect the deception people are using basically, right? And find out the truthfulness of the subject. The next one is evaluation of the risk of reoffending. What is reoffending? Reoffending is relapse, the recidivism rate of the offender, right? So for evaluating of this risk of reoffending, we have forensic thematic appreciation test, which is also called as FTAT. It is the latest test, and it is now forensic psychologists have started using it in the jails and all. So it is basically based on Morgan interview techniques, which is called MTT, to assess the guilt, remorse, apprehension, violence, recidivism of the person, right? So, and we have also started using a criminal propensity scale also to assess the risk of the person associated with the crime, to assess the recidivism rate of the person. So we use this technique or this test at the time of the release of the offender. अगर हमें लगता है कि the person is not fit to be released, then हम उसको stay पर कोर्ट से परमिशन लेके या कोर्ट को इस तरह से बताकर अपने इंटरप्रिटेशन के थ्रू we tell the court the person is not fit to be released, he should be inside the prison for some more days, right? Designing of the correctional program, this is one of the most important, and it helps in the it helps the court in a very positive manner, right? And it also helps in the rehabilitation of the offender, it also helps in the recidivism of the offender, right? So correctional programs basically are those programs that help the offender to rehabilitate or reintegrate back into the society so that he can get employment when he gets released from the prison, right? So correctional programs, as in jails, we have various, as I worked in Tihar jail, so I can tell you there every jail, every now and then, but every jail have this correctional program in their premises. And Tihar jail, we have Petha factory, we have biscuit factory, we have jute factory, and bag making factory, painting classes, educational classes. For example, IGNOU has also started their classes there in prisons. And they have French classes, English, computer classes, spiritual classes, Vipassana techniques for the offenders. So basically these programs, correctional programs, help the prisoners basically to rehabilitate back into the society. When they go out from the jail, they find employment after that, and it also reduce the recidivism rate in the person, right? बाहर जाकर अगर employment मिल जाता है and तो काफी जब सोसाइटी आपको एक्सेप्ट नहीं करती है दैट यू आर ऑफेंडर, यू आर बेसिकली प्रिजनर, तो आपको सोसाइटी एक्सेप्ट नहीं करती, फैमिली एक्सेप्ट नहीं करती, दैट टाइम एम्प्लॉयमेंट हेल्प्स यू अ लॉट इन कि इन फाइंडिंग द एम्प्लॉयमेंट आफ्टर रिलीज. So to some extent it can release an anxiousness of the person, right? Or correctional programs के लिए there are certain NGOs that are working outside of the jail. जब कोई भी ऑफेंडर रिलीज होता है जेल से तो सर्टेन एनजीओ को हम देखते हैं कहाँ पर, जैसे कि फॉर एग्जांपल कोई भी एक सेक्टर है वहां पे रिलीज हो रहा है, हमें पता है ये इसका घर वहां पर है, तो वहां पे एनजीओ देखते हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू हिज स्किल, वॉट एवर ही हैज लर्न्ड इनसाइड द जेल, अकॉर्डिंग टू हिज स्किल हिज कैपेबिलिटीज, हम उसको उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोग्राम में, उस करेक्शनल प्रोग्राम में, उस एनजीओ के थ्रू एसोसिएट करते हैं आफ्टर हिज रिलीज फ्रॉम द जेल, राइट? And assessment of juvenile and adult sexual offender. This is again we use certain tools and techniques we have for this assessment for juvenile and adult sexual offenders. So this is a very broad area. If you want, I can take this particular section, particular class on that, right, in my later sessions. Evaluation of child custody in divorce. So this includes evaluation of social history and mental history of parent and child, and they use certain standardized testings also. Behavioral observation of both the parents, psychologists need outside source also for that. Interview techniques with the teacher, with the doctors, those working or have interaction with the family, right? Medical records, criminal histories, school records may be utilized, and these evaluations are non-confidential and can be reported to the courts, right? And interpretation of polygraph data. Not only polygraph data, but also layered voice analysis data, BIOS data, the narcoanalysis data. So sometimes court asks us to provide the interpretation of the particular tool. For example, court can call me and ask me to interpret the layered voice analysis. What is the baseline and where the person is basically, deviating from his baseline. So yes, we provide the interpretation also to the court. And specialized forensic personality assessment. We have certain projective techniques also with us to assess the personality of the criminal. Okay. And through this, we also got to know whether he is going to reoffend, the severity of his crime, his aggression, his seriousness of the crime of the person. And providing psychological services to inmates. This is like engaging them in a positive direction, right? For psychological services, we have correctional programs, we have vocational programs, we have counseling, so that they can assimilate into the prison culture, right? जब भी कोई इनमेट हमारे पास आता है, जेल में आता है, तो बहुत एक मेंटल ट्रॉमा, बहुत बड़ा मेंटल ट्रॉमा होता है, curtailing his freedom, leaving his family behind, leaving his children behind, and he has no idea about the family, where they're staying, where they've gone, or kya hua, aage kya hua. So there are lots of psychological trauma the inmates are facing basically. So उस समय हम counseling में help करते हैं उन्हें vocational program में उनकी energies को positive direction में, जो negative energy लेकर आए हैं उसे positive direction में डालते हैं, उन्हें meditation में डालते हैं, vipassana exercises में डालते हैं, spiritual exercises में डालते हैं, इस तरह के exercises में डालते हैं that can help the individual in a very positive way so that he can get assimilated with the prison culture, right? And evaluation of trauma caused by sexual harassment. We also evaluate the trauma caused by sexual harassment. For this, we have a certain tools and techniques with us. Again, this is a very lengthy, session. So if you want, I can take it in my next session. Now, there is an application of forensic psychology or the role of forensic psychologist in India, right? We can work as in with the police department. हम police department के साथ भी काम करते हैं. We worked as help the probation officer also. Probation officer को कैसे हम help करते हैं, so that if a person is about to release from the prison, right, whether he is going on parole, whether he is releasing from the prison, we have a certain test with us, and by applying those tests, we help the probation officer, we help the police department कि पैरोल होना चाहिए या नहीं होना चाहिए अभी इस पर्टिकुलर टाइम में, whether the person is suffering from any revengeful attitude, he is anxious. You may have heard from the media, from the television, you may have seen, you may have heard कि people go and parole and they do a crime and then they get returned back to the prison, right? तो उसने तो क्राइम कर दिया, फिर हमारा इशू कहाँ पे सॉल्व हो रहा है, हमारा इशू तो कहीं पे सॉल्व नहीं हो रहा है. सो बिफोर रिलीजिंग देम फॉर द पैरोल सर्विसेज, we have certain tools that can measure the person's revengeful attitude, his aggression, his anything the person is holding inside his mind. So we can have a not a very clear cut idea, but yes, to some extent we can help the department, the officers, those who are dealing with the particular case. And violence risk assessment, we also assess the violence the person is holding by using some tools and techniques. And the psychological aid, yes, as I've already earlier told you, the psychological aid is the psychological help, the counseling services, the correctional services, the vocational services we are having inside the premises of the jail. So we help them psychologically, basically, we help them in a positive manner. And as an expert witness. So as an expert witness, forensic psychology also works as an expert witness in court. They help the court in understanding and evaluating the evidence or determining the fact at issue. So forensic psychologist serving as an expert witness may give professional opinions in court about matters that are relevant to his or her expertise. For example, if I'm expert in layered voice analysis, though if a case comes like a person has to go for this layered voice analysis, then person can call the expertise in the particular subject to interpret the data, to define the problem, to help the court in every manner the court wants, right? So insanity defense, again, the mental status of the criminal at the time of the offense. And the juvenile crimes. This involves the developmental psychology, basically. We help the court in, in deciding, या in कि कोई भी जुवेनाइल होता है वो अगर कोर्ट में आ रहा है तो what was the reason, what was his personality, how he was behaving before the crime, क्या उसकी क्या हिस्ट्री थी, पेरेंट चाइल्ड इंटरेक्शन कैसा था, पीयर कौन मतलब पीयर्स कैसे थे स्कूल्स में, किस लोग के साथ उठना बैठना था, या सिबलिंग्स के साथ कैसा एटीट्यूड है, और whether he's a first child, whether second child, whether third child. So in juvenile crime, we help a court in deciding the in deciding the offense, basically कि किस तरह का offense है, क्यों हुआ है, रीजन क्या, mitigating factors भी हम बता सकते हैं कि उसके good deeds थे, ऐसा था या नहीं था, out of revenge था, out of something था, out of depression था. So we can help the court in this particular area also, right? So professional opportunities involved in forensic psychology. You can work as an academic researcher. You can be a consultant to law enforcement. You can work as a correctional psychologist also. You can work as an evaluator. You can work as an expert witness, and you can be a treatment provider to the offenders, right? Okay. Now the universities offering courses in India. I have shortlisted 4 universities from India based on their masters and research-oriented programs. The first one is Gujarat Forensic Science University, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. I'll recommend this university because they have a very latest technology, tools and instruments with them. They have their own DFS lab. So yes, you can learn a lot after August में admission आप लेते हो तो. And Raksha Shakti University, Ahmedabad. This is one of the best university we have in India. It is also a research-oriented university. IFS India Educational Department, Pune. They offer, I guess, a certification program, online and offline in both the modes. So you can go to their website and check it out. And Lok Nayak Jayaprakash Narayan, NICFS, New Delhi. This is a very famous, very renowned institute in India we have. And this comes under the Home Ministry. And they have also a research-oriented programs in forensic psychology. So if you want to get connected with these universities, you can simply go to the website and find it out the courses they are offering. But these are one of the best universities we have in India. Okay, the universities offering courses in abroad. As per my knowledge, what I have searched on Google, so John Jay College of Criminal Justice, this is one of the best university in forensic psychology we have around the globe. It's a #1 university in the world, right? The Chicago School of Professional Psychology, they provide online and offline education in forensic psychology. University of Denver, Simon Fraser University, Canada, Roger Williams University, and California Baptist University. It is in California. So it is a best universities we have. I've shortlisted for you in forensic psychology, right? This is the last slide, last but not the least. The 5 traits you should have to become a forensic psychologist or to pursue a forensic psychology as your career. You should have strong communication skills so that you can interact with the attorneys, you can interact with the judges, you can interact in the court. You should have a very strong communication skill and the ability to maintain objectivity. Subjectivity is not allowed in any of the branch of forensic, neither in forensic science, neither in forensic psychology. So you need to maintain the objectivity of the particular subject. आपको क्या लगता है ये मायने नहीं रखता, रिजल्ट्स क्या बोलते हैं, आपके ग्राफ्स क्या बोलते हैं, वो मायने रखता है. सो ऑब्जेक्टिविटी शुड बी देयर, क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग स्किल्स एंड अटेंशन टू डिटेल. अगर आपको जो चीज लगती है कि ये चीज किसी मतलब की नहीं है, इस चीज को स्किप कर सकते हैं, मे बी वो चीज वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो कोर्ट के लिए एंड फॉर द पर्टिकुलर केस, सो यू कैन नॉट स्किप एनी ऑफ द डिटेल of the whether it is a crime scene, whether it is the mental status examination of the person, whether it is a personality assessment of the person, whether it is a regular talk between you and offender. So you cannot avoid anything in between. You need to write each and every detail. Maybe court can ask you tomorrow ki or today ki bhai mujhe is particular case mein ye information chahiye, और उसमें आप नहीं कह सकते कि सर ये बहुत छोटी डिटेल थी मैंने स्किप कर दिया. सो यू नीड टू पे अटेंशन टू एवरी डिटेल इन फोरेंसिक एरिया, राइट? एंड यू शुड हैव अ कंपैशन फॉर द फील्ड आल्सो. इफ यू आर नॉट कंपैशनेट, इफ यू आर नॉट कि बस आजकल ट्रेंड है फोरेंसिक का, फोरेंसिक साइकोलॉजी एंड फोरेंसिक साइंस कर लेते हैं, देन यू आर नॉट कि यू विल नॉट फील. कई ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो फोरेंसिक में जो इन बिटवीन छोड़ के चले जाते हैं, मतलब वो ये होता है कि हम आ तो गए थे इस फील्ड में बट वो कंपैशन नहीं आ रहा और वो जिस नहीं है, या बहुत एंजाइटी होती है ऐसे क्राइम सीन्स या फोटोग्राफ्स इस तरह के ऑफेंडर्स के साथ बैठ के बहुत एंजाइटी होती है, देन यू आर नॉट वेलकम टू द फील्ड ऑफ फोरेंसिक, whether it is forensic science or psychology. So you need to have a compassion to pursue your career. And this is all for today. This is all for this session. Hope you have enjoyed, and these are all the references. So thank you so much. Hello. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess if someone needs to ask something to ma'am, you can ask now.
Yeah, if you have any question regarding the subject, the slides I have presented today, if you have any query regarding that, then you can ask me or you can mail me at my email ID. So, yeah, I will get back to you. You can ask us, or you can, yeah.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah.
Like MPhil in clinical psychology, is there any course which you have to take for you to be qualified as like forensic psychologist? Like if you want to be called as a forensic psychologist.
Okay. Yeah. You have this Gujarat Forensic Sciences University is providing a MPhil course in this MPhil course in clinical and forensic psychology, and as a separate field in forensic psychology. So yes, you need to be a MPhil. You need to be a practitioner in the field. In other than in India, अगर India को छोड़ के other than abroad की बात करें, we need a license for this particular thing. But India में कुछ भी मतलब कि अभी इतना license body नहीं है हमारे पास. So yes, MPhil is mandatory, and anything you are, if you are practicing with any of the FSL labs, yeah. So for the basic qualification, you need to have a this either master's in forensic psychology, diploma in forensic psychology, or you should have an MPhil in forensic psychology. Yeah.
Hi, ma'am. So, ma'am, what would be the main line of difference between forensic psychology and criminology?
Right. Okay. Thank you so much, Chintan. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay. Forensic psychology, in forensic psychology, we use the tools and techniques associated with the particular offense. We use BIOS, we use polygraph. In criminal psychology, you are not supposed to use those instruments, right? In criminal psychology, you pay attention to the behavior, to the, the reason behind the crime, why he has done such crime, why he is offended, why he has done particular crime, why he is a manslaughter, why. So in forensic psychology, we have the instrument, we have certain things that this is her baseline. If he is deviating from that line, that is basically we see the truthfulness of the subject. In criminology, we don't see the truthfulness of the subject, but we see the behavior behind the crime, the reason behind the crime. We pay attention to the correctional programs of the offender. So this is a main basic difference between the forensic psychology and the criminology, right?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. And the how to remember it? Okay.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm Anchal. I firstly wanted to thank you for taking time out to talk to us all on a Sunday, but I just wanted to know how exactly does one get into eyewitness testimony in India? Like you said, we don't really have a licensing body. So, how does one get into that field in the career?
Okay. There's nothing like there is a specialized person for the eyewitness testimony, but we do the eyewitness testimony if there is any witness present for the particular crime, right? So yes, we have been taught in the subject while we are going through the trainings and all. So yes, after practicing it, as we don't have a body for this particular subject, so yeah, practicing it in a labs and practicing it in a prisons helps you a lot. ऐसा नहीं होता कि आप एकदम से जेल में जाओगे और आपको कल कोर्ट बुला लेगा कि yes आपको आई विटनेस टेस्टिमनी के लिए एज एन एक्सपर्ट चाहिए हमें. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. You have to practice a lot. If there is nobody, then yeah, the pressure is there in the person. So yeah, by practicing and by studying a lot, you can get into it. Yeah, thank you, Achal.
Alright. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this informative session.
Thank you,
I
Ankita.
just wanted to ask, can we pursue PsyD after doing MPhil in forensic psychology?
Yeah, you can do. As in, you can do a PhD after doing MPhil. Yeah, you can do a PsyD after that. After that MPhil. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankita.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, ma'am. Ma'am,
Hi.
is there any opportunity to do something gain exposure in forensic psychology so that we can know that if I'm interested in forensic psychology? Sometimes we get just influenced by what people are saying that this is so
Yes,
amazing.
yes.
This so if we get
Actually.
influenced.
Actually.
So,
And this is a
yes,
very, yeah. And thank you so much, Ankita. This is a very important question you have asked. And because I've seen many a times students come in, मतलब मैं forensic psychology में admission ले लिया. After that, I realized I have so much of anxiety after seeing that offenders, after seeing that, after visiting the labs and everything. So yeah, sometimes it is very tiring also. Sometimes it is, बाहर से आपको लगता है कि yes, you can get into the field, but after coming, you feel anxiety or nervousness. Yeah. So for that reason, you need to do an internship. There are many organizations. For example, Mental Health Foundation is also organizing a internship for the students to get inside the, to do this internship in forensic psychology. And there are many other institutes also, other organizations also. You can search it on Google and you will find it. There are many organizations, many NGOs who are working towards it for the internship of the students in forensic psychology. You can get in touch with them. They will definitely help you out.
yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, this is Ankita again. Sorry.
Hmm.
Ma'am, how lucrative is this job as compared to clinical psychologist?
Okay. Yeah, as far as lucrative this part is concerned, this is an emerging field basically, and yeah, you have to struggle a bit to get that lucrative. Clinical psychology is more lucrative than forensic psychology, I must say. So yes, for that reason, yeah. So because it is a very emerging field and people are coming up like so yes.
Thank you so much for your reply.
Thank you, Ankita. Thank you. Any other? Somebody has asked me, can you fool the polygraph? No, you cannot. You cannot. Because there are many myths associated with this polygraph and many other instruments we use in forensic psychology, that you can easily fool the polygraph, you can easily fool the BIOS, you can easily fool the SDS system, you can fool the layered voice analysis. See, this is all working. If you know something about the nervous system, then you must have heard an autonomic nervous system, right? We have two nervous systems, peripheral and autonomic. So in autonomic nervous system, this is not into your reach. See, this is involuntary. अगर आपको छींक आ रही है तो आप रोक नहीं सकते, ये अपनी फिजियोलॉजी आप रोक सकते हो. आप सोचो कि आप ब्लिंक नहीं करेंगे हम, और आप डरते हो, आपको पसीना आ जाता है, आप अपने पसीना रोक सकते हो. यू कैन नॉट डू दिस. सो यस, बट स्टिल कुछ ऐसे भी होते हैं बहुत कि जो ये सोचते हैं आप फूल कर सकते हो फॉरेंसिक टूल को. नो, यू कैन नॉट. एंड ऐसा नहीं होता कि सिर्फ हम पॉलीग्राफ ही यूज करते हैं. हम पॉलीग्राफ के साथ BIOS यूज करते हैं. वी यूज सस्पेक्ट डिटेक्शन सिस्टम अलॉन्ग विद इट. समटाइम्स वी यूज नार्को एनालिसिस. नार्को एनालिसिस के लिए वी नीड अ स्पेशल परमिशन फ्रॉम द एडवोकेट एंड फ्रॉम द कोर्ट एंड फ्रॉम द पर्सन. सो यस, layered voice analysis, we can use it by combining all the things together. We present the decision to the court. Not a decision, we help the court actually. So in case आप ये सोचो कि आप पॉलीग्राफ को फूल कर लोगे या फूल बना लोगे, you cannot fool the BIOS, you cannot fool the SDS, you cannot fool the layered voice analysis. But after कि उसको merge करके सारा data, after merging all the data, we present it before the court for the decision making. Okay. No, forensic psychology is not approved by any it is not RCI registered. We don't have any body regarding this affiliation for the particular course in India. आप बाहर जाते हो तो APA है, BPS है, British Psychological, APA Psychological, and you have Indian International Association of Forensic Psychology. They have all the associations that provide you basically a license, or you can say affiliation.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, ma'am. I'm Monica Sai. Hello. Hello, ma'am. I'm Monica Sai.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I am just working on Disha. So I just I have done my master in psychology. So again, I have done my master in forensic science. So मैम इन मतलब इस पे करियर कैसे इम्प्रूवमेंट हो सकता है इसमें?
ओके, आपने फॉरेंसिक साइंस में मास्टर्स किया हुआ है और फॉरेंसिक साइकोलॉजी में भी मास्टर्स किया हुआ है?
नो मैम, आई एम जस्ट ओनली मास्टर इन साइकोलॉजी, अगेन मास्टर इन फॉरेंसिक साइंस in 2021. So ma'am, I just still working in Disha, मतलब in Patna, in rehabilitation center. So इसमें मैम करियर कैसे मैं अपना इम्प्रूव कर सकूँ? So kindly guide me.
Monica, first of all, first try to enroll yourself with some of the training programs. आपने फॉरेंसिक साइंस में आप कर रहे हो तो कोई तो इस तरह के NGOs हैं, जैसे कि इन दिल्ली, आई कैन टेल यू अबाउट द दिल्ली because I am very much familiar with the city. Some disturbances is going on. Please switch off your mic. Please switch off your mic. Yeah. Okay, Monica.
Yes, ma'am.
Please switch off your mics. It's
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, Monica. For this reason, you need to get yourself enrolled in some of the जैसे एनजीओ इन दिल्ली में इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, सम ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूट्स लाइक इंडियन फोरेंसिक साइंसेज और अल्फा फोरेंसिक लैब, देयर सम लैब्स, तो गेट योरसेल्फ एसोसिएटेड विद दोज लैब्स and start working in the field of forensic science so that you can have a basic knowledge about that कि how you have to कि exposure, पहली बात तो exposure मिलेगा, और दूसरी चीज है कि आपको idea होगा कि how to go about it, basically how to handle the case and और rehabilitation आपको उसमें बता ही रहे हैं दिशा में, तो उसमें rehabilitation, that is a criminology area and you are doing your masters in forensic science, so yes, it's a good, and you can get associated with some of the labs in Delhi or in Patna you are staying in, so yeah, search it on Google and search it, which are the organizations, what are the organizations that are providing you the basically settings for that, you know.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you. And
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hello. Ma'am, my query is this: I am preparing for MPhil, and how then after I want to know about the psychic degree. So, ma'am, how we get the psychic?
Sorry.
Psychic. Sorry. Hello.
PsyD. Yeah.
Yes.
PsyD program.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
How we enroll in this PsyD program, and what is the process about this?
Okay. आपने क्या किया हुआ है? मास्टर्स किया हुआ है?
Yes, ma'am.
Masters in forensic?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Masters in psychology, applied psychology.
I see. Okay. So, likewise, PhD और PsyD का प्रोग्राम बहुत ज्यादा सिमिलर होता है, right? बस ये होता है कि PhD का प्रोग्राम आपका 5 साल का होता है, PsyD is like it is more applied, you know, it's more like application field है ये, इसमें आपको बहुत सारे डिसर्टेशन वैसे होता है, PhD में 3 साल का हो रहा है, 4 साल का हो रहा है, PsyD I guess it is more like a 5 years program, and इंडिया में अभी कौन सी यूनिवर्सिटी दे रही है, I don't have much idea about it, but yeah, international universities as in California University है, और आपका ये Adler School of Professional Psychology है, Chicago School of Professional Psychology है, they are providing you a PsyD program in this particular forensic psychology. But I guess they need masters in forensic psychology, then you are eligible for the PsyD program, I guess. For more clarification, please go to the website and check it out. And in India, which university is providing, I don't have much idea. But in international, these are the very good programs, and they are very, you know, बहुत ज़्यादा ऐसे programs हैं जिनको PhD से ज़्यादा लोग PsyD को prefer करते हैं. So.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Lucky.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a question to ask.
Okay, I'll
my
go
question
first.
to you is,
Present population do suffer from ASPD, antisocial personality disorders. So, ma'am, their personalities are very dominant to commit crimes. So, does rehabilitation in that sense works with them or not?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Rehabilitation works with them. You need to have, you know, rehabilitation, maybe have number of programs in rehabilitation. So you need to see कि what kind of, you know, कि एक particular rehabilitation के लिए हमें particular अगर antisocial behavior इसको or dominant personality is more prone to crime, so we need to see what are the need he is having, you know, कि कहाँ पे आपको काम करना है, what particular, जैसे clinical होता है ना, you see कि भाई आपके पास depression का patient आया है, so you see कि हाँ भाई इसको depression है और इसमें इस तरह का ये approach में रख रही है. So in rehabilitation also, in particular offenses also, we see कि हमें कौन से particular antisocial behavior है, right? He is more prone to crime, right? लेकिन कौन सा rehabilitation यहाँ पे काम करेगा? What kind of personality he is having? You need to have everything. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपके पास कोई funder आया and you prescribe कि भाई ये rehabilitation program होगा. No. You should. It's a very hectic process. It's a very lengthy process. You know, you first go through all the details of that crime, और उसकी personality assessment करना होता है by using projective techniques. उसके बाद you came to a conclusion कि this kind of program is preferred for this kind of particular section or maybe. So it's a lots of assessment going first कि बहुत सारे assessment करने पड़ते हैं. Then you decide the rehabilitation program for the particular offender. Maybe 2 offender हैं, दोनों antisocial behaviors हैं, एक का crime है rape और एक का crime है manslaughter और murder या homicide. तो दोनों की पर्सनालिटी सेम होने पे हम दोनों पे रिहैबिलिटेशन प्रोग्राम सेम वर्क नहीं कर सकते. रिहैबिलिटेशन प्रोग्राम शुड बी डिफरेंट फॉर द टू पर्टिकुलर offenders basically. No matter if they're having the same personality, same crime, same attitude, but it can be a different. So you need to assess things in a very detailed manner, right?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Hi,
morning,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So
Ma'am,
compare.
may I please ask question to ma'am? Ma'am, are there any limitations working in the field of forensic psychology? Like, are there any boundaries you can't go beyond?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Shrishti. A very good question you've asked. And a very authentic question it is. Like, yeah, you have a boundaries. पहली चीज है कि कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. जब मैं इंटर्नशिप कर रही थी, आई वॉज नॉट अलाउड टू अटर अ सिंगल वर्ड, अटर अ पोजिशन आई एम इन, अटर अ विद जेल आई एम इन, and I was not allowed to write anywhere that I'm working in Tihar prison or something like that due to security reasons. And आप जेल के अंदर होते हो तो भी यू नीड टू मेंटेन अ वेरी कॉन्फिडेंशियल पर्सनालिटी ऑफ योर्स. यू कैन नॉट से कि भाई मेरा नाम ये है वो सारी चीजें हैं. एम्पथाइज, यू नो, टू सम एक्सटेंट. कभी कभी ऐसा होता है, मेरे साथ भी ऐसा हुआ था कभी, कि कभी एक केस सुन के भी आप एम्पथाइज कर जाते हो, एंड यू नो कि समटाइम्स यू फील कि यार मतलब ये कैसे कोई कर सकता है. तो एक आपको सब्जेक्टिविटी नहीं रखनी है वहां पे, कंडीशनल कुछ भी चीजें नहीं रखनी है. आप कंडीशनल, जैसे जो चीज क्लिनिकल में अप्लाइड है वही चीजें फॉरेंसिक में अप्लाइड है, अप्लाई कर सकते हो आप, करते हो मतलब. तो लेकिन वहां पर ये है कि आपको एक बहुत ज्यादा एक अपना यू नो एक स्ट्रॉन्ग इमोशन कंट्रोल रखना पड़ेगा अपना, क्योंकि आप इमोशनली वहां पे अच्छा तुमने ये क्राइम किया, अरे बाप रे तुमने ये क्राइम किया, मतलब हो जाता है इस तरह से. जब आप प्रैक्टिस करोगे आप देखोगे इस तरह की चीजें होती हैं कि ओहो उसने तो ये कर दिया, या मैंने ये क्राइम आज जाकर देखा, मतलब ये चीज सॉरी ऑफेंडर को देखा इस पर्टिकुलर क्राइम में. तो ये चीज आप नहीं कर सकते, ये बहुत ऑब्जेक्शनेबल होता है. आप वहां पे बहुत ज्यादा प्राइवेसी मेंटेन करनी पड़ती है आपको प्रेजेंट के अंदर में, और आपको बहुत ज्यादा फेमिलियर नहीं होना है, बहुत ज्यादा केसेस को फॉलो अप्स नहीं लेने हैं, जो कि आपका एक बहुत बड़ा बाउंड्री होता है. इफ यू वांट टू फॉलो अप पर्टिकुलर पर्सन, अगर उसका फॉलो अप लेना है, 2 सेशंस आप ले चुके, थर्ड फॉलो अप में यू नीड टू मेंशन टू द सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ द प्रिजन दैट मुझे इस पर्टिकुलर केस को फॉलो अप में तीसरी बार लेना है, एंड व्हाट वाज द रीजन. यू हैव टू मेंशन द रीजन बिहाइंड दैट कि क्यों लेना है पर्टिकुलर चीज में. अगर आप किसी जगह कोई आप उसमें हेल्प नहीं कर सकते, जो चीज है वो चीज है, मतलब उस चीज में आप कोई चीज हेल्प नहीं कर सकते. इफ यू वांट कि हम इसको लाओ हेल्प कर दे, ये कर दे, तो इट इज नॉट अलाउड इनसाइड ऑफ फोरेंसिक सेटिंग, इनसाइड एनी फोरेंसिक डिपार्टमेंट, राइट. तो ये बहुत बड़ा ऑब्जेक्शनेबल क्रिमिनल बिहेवियर है जो हम नहीं कर सकते हैं. किसी को हेल्प नहीं करना है, किसी के लिए हमें सहानुभूति नहीं रखनी है. हाँ, आप अंदर रख रहे हो ठीक है, लेकिन आप दिखा नहीं सकते हो, राइट. तो ये बहुत सारी बाउंड्रीज होती है. अपने इमोशनल कंट्रोल्स को कंट्रोल बहुत ज्यादा रखना पड़ता है अपने इमोशंस पे. So these are the things you need to follow when you are working with the prisoners, when you are working with the offenders, you know. So yes, these are the boundaries basically.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Shrishti. Thank you, Shrishti. Yes, Chintan.
Forensic psychology is criminal psychology a bit niche of a field in terms of career prospects and opportunities?
Sorry, Chintan, can you please repeat your question?
Ma'am, so in terms of in comparison with forensic psychology, is criminal psychology a bit niche of a field in terms of career prospects and opportunities?
Opportunistic criminal field. We're talking about opportunity in your
opportunity in criminal psychology as compared to forensic psychology.
Okay, got it. Yeah, exactly. You have a criminal psychology is a very opportunistic field because every time rehabilitation is needed, every time we have very shortage of labs. Labs are coming up कि बहुत अभी किसी गवर्नमेंट ने अनाउंस किया था महाराष्ट्र में एंड यूपी में अब इस तरह का हो रहा है कि फॉरेंसिक लैब्स अब इस तरह से और भी एडवांस फॉर्म में आ रही हैं, या अभी गोरखपुर लैब ओपन हो रही है इस तरीके के एफएसएल लैब. तो मतलब बहुत सारी चीजें होती है जो एफएसएल लैब्स अब ओपन हो रही हैं, एंड क्रिमिनोलॉजी में अगर आप देखो, क्रिमिनोलॉजी में यू हैव अ demand in criminology because people need to know, court need to know, prison need to know what was the reason behind a particular offense, what was whether he is able to rehabilitate back into the society or not, what kind of correctional program is needed for the particular offense. So yes, criminology have a major opportunity rather than otherwise both fields are, likewise, they are good opportunity wise, but yeah, criminal psychology have more opportunity, rather than in forensic psychology.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Yes.
So, ma'am, I am currently pursuing my master's in psychology, and I wanted to ask कि इसके बाद which course would be better to enter the field of forensic psychology, postgraduate diploma or MPhil?
Okay. Right, Shruti. As you are doing pursuing your master's in psychology, I will recommend you to go for MPhil in forensic psychology, because there you will have a vast more practical knowledge rather than anything else. So go for MPhil in forensic psychology, and before opting, I will personally recommend you, before opting for MPhil in forensic psychology, do some internships in forensic psychology. You should know whether you have the that personality or that emotional control over you, so that you can go ahead with this field. So I will recommend, please go for internship before joining in for MPhil program in forensic psychology. So you can search it on Google in your area, in your city, which institutes are providing internships in forensic psychology, because there are a number of institutes are coming in for this particular thing, internships in forensic psychology. So before going ahead, go for internship first.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Shruti.
Ma'am, ma'am, please share something about, is there any MPhil in criminology? Because I'm not aware of that.
Okay. You can check that institute in Jodhpur. There's a criminology institute in Jodhpur, I guess. So this is one of the best institute we have in India. You can search it on Google, Jodhpur something institute hai, Institute of Criminology or University, I guess. There's a one university in criminology in Jodhpur. So you can search it out, yeah. And this is one of the best university, yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankita.
Good morning, ma'am. Again, I just wanted to ask you if can we do a master's in clinical and then go into specializing in forensics with obviously okay, so that's fine with a lot of universities, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And this Gujarat Forensic University is providing a specialization in clinical and forensic psychology. You can search it out there. And this is one of the best combination we have, clinical and forensic psychology, because there are a number of clinical and forensic psychologists in India. So for clinical psychology, you need to be RCI registered. For forensic psychology, we don't have any body regarding it, associated with it. So yes, there is a program in Gujarat Forensic University, specialization with clinical and forensic psychology. So this is one of the best program it is going on. You can search out there, and yeah, and welcome to the field in clinical and forensic. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
हाँ जी, sorry.
Anyone?
Queries है?
एक query है, Vaidehi Banerjee, can you use forensic psychology for digital behavior like social media for digital crime? Yes, we have assessment tool for that, and there is one foreign body, international body, which is coming up with this technique. And अभी कुछ टाइम पहले उसकी ट्रेनिंग भी हुई है इन सारी चीज इसकी पर्टिकुलर दिस डिजिटल बिहेवियर लाइक सोशल मीडिया फॉर डिजिटल क्राइम के लिए हम कैसे उसको, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल डिजिटल क्राइम के लिए फॉर एग्जांपल वी हैव इंफॉर्मेशन की फॉर एग्जांपल अब तो एयरपोर्ट पे भी गवर्नमेंट इज रिक्रूटिंग अ फॉरेंसिक साइकोलॉजिस्ट इन एयरपोर्ट्स सो दैट वी कैन हैव इन एक्सेस टू द बॉडीली क्यूज, और हमें पता है अगर कि भाई ये पर्टिकुलर इस ऑफेंस के लिए है. तो yes, this is like social media for digital crime. International bodies are coming in for this particular assessment. So yeah, in the near future we will have assessment tools for that, and we are using it basically forensic psychology for like behavior like social media for digital crime. Yeah. उसमें we can have ample of information regarding the person, regarding the friend list he is having. For example, एक केस मतलब ऐसी मैं बता रही हूँ, hypothetical है कि एक केस है फॉर एग्जाम्पल कि वो एक पर्टिकुलर ऑफेंस में है एंड उसके बारे में हमें इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है और बहुत ज़्यादा इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है, मतलब थोड़ी इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है कि यहाँ पे ये पर्टिकुलर सस्पेक्ट है, ऑफेंडर नहीं है, सिर्फ इज जस्ट अ सस्पेक्ट, और उसको हमें सोशल मीडिया के थ्रू ट्रैक करना है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल ही इज एसोसिएटिंग विद सम कोई एजेंसी के साथ, कोई इस तरह के एजेंसी के साथ अगर वो एसोसिएटेड है, और ही इज ट्रांसमिटिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन रिगार्डिंग लाइक कोई गवर्नमेंट एजेंसी को इन्फॉर्मेशन ट्रांसमिट कर रहा है या शेयर कर रहा है, तो हम उसके सोशल मीडिया पे जाते हैं. सोशल मीडिया से वी कैन ट्रैक, अगर हमें ये भी पता करना है कि उसके जो फर्स्ट जो उसका मतलब बेसिक कनेक्शन है वो ना देखे, हमें सेकंड कनेक्शन पे भी जानना है, उसके सेकंड कनेक्शन को भी हम देख सकते हैं, व्हाट इन्फॉर्मेशन ही इज एक्चुअली प्रेजेंटिंग टू द पर्सन, तो हम वो भी एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. दिस इज वेरी कॉन्फिडेंशियल थिंग्स, आई कैन नॉट एक्सप्लेन यू इन मच डिटेल, सो या, बट वी हैव फोरेंसिक साइकोलॉजी फॉर डिजिटल बिहेवियर, या in case of crime, for digital crime. Yeah. Any other questions?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, as you said, forensic psychologists are also working on the airports these days. So, ma'am, what do basically aviation psychologists do then?
Which psychologist?
Aviation psychologist.
Okay, fine. Aviation psychologists, what they're doing? Aviation psychologists, basically, they're not working with the criminals, I guess. So we are working with the criminals. So the government are basically recruiting forensic psychologists in an airport. कभी ऐसी इंफॉर्मेशन होती है, the suspect, we have some suspects. मैं इस तरह से बहुत डिटेल तो नहीं बता सकती. Gunika, if you have anything like that, you can I can mail you in your
sure
email ID. Yeah. So अगर हमें इस तरह पता होता है कोई particular suspect is crossing the airport, or he's in airport, or he's planning something on an airport, he's talking on something like suspicious thing on an airport. So for that reason, forensic psychologist has been government is planning to recruit for that reason, so that we can have verbal cues, we can have non-verbal cues, verbal cues, and everything like associated with the particular crime or particular thing we are having the information about that particular thing, right? अब एविएशन साइकोलॉजिस्ट दे कैन वर्क विद द जर्नल, उसमें एक जर्नल चीजों पे काम करते हैं. दे आर नॉट वर्किंग इन द क्रिमिनल इन सस्पेक्टिंग थिंग्स, राइट? तो ये चीजें होती है. सो एविएशन साइकोलॉजिस्ट एंड क्रिमिनल साइकोलॉजी और फोरेंसिक साइकोलॉजी, द बेसिक डिफरेंस इज दैट कि हम वहां पे काम करते हैं जहां पे एविएशन साइकोलॉजिस्ट आर नॉट अलाउड टू वर्क.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Gunika, thank you.
Okay, and I guess that should be all. And जो सर्टिफिकेट एंड फीडबैक फॉर्म है, तो आपको विद इन 2 days आपको एक मेल आ जाएगा. सो उसमें सारा प्रोसीजर लिखा होगा कि आप कैसे सर्टिफिकेट डाउनलोड कर सकते हो एंड एवरीथिंग, एंड फिर आफ्टर 2 days आप वेबसाइट पे जाके डाउनलोड कर सकते हो. Okay.
And it was nice having you here. Hope you are all doing good in this pandemic situation, and hope you all are doing well. And wish you all the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, and take care.
Thank you, ma'am. Same to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
so
you.
much. Wonderful, informative webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much.